What's going on, everybody? It's just me tonight on the bare minimum. I'm Dustin Jones. Gonna be short and sweet with this one. Hopefully, all in the chat got some stuff you want to talk about. We can bounce it off. Brandon is out for tonight, but we're still gonna have fun. We're gonna talk this Bears Steelers game. We're gonna talk about a few other things, but honestly, whatever y'all want to get into, that's what I want to get into. So please throw it in the chat if you got it. Let's kick it off. Bear down.
Windy City banners rocking 4 stars align. Dynasty dreams rise, Bulls in their prime. Cubs curse shattered, the victory divine. Fields be running, clock ticking on my timeline. Shot-town heroes, legends never fade. Black Hawks flying, cutting ice with the blade. White Sox diamonds, the Southside parade. 4 stars shine bright, legacies they made. Mike with the crown, air rain, no dispute. Sweetness in the backfield, Walter in pursuit. Bear down Sunday's midfield, battles cute. Chicago.
Bizzo, what up, dude? Thank you for being here. You're my solo companion at this point. You got something you want to talk about? Please throw it out there, guys. How we doing? This is another Thursday. Is the bare minimum. I'm without my better half tonight. Oh, what's up? Ted is like a boss. I remember you. How you doing, man? Yep. What's up? Caught the beginning. Let's get into it. You're gonna regret being here, but hang with me. We'll be all right. Yeah, no Brandon tonight. But I really want to talk about this Steelers game. I really didn't want to not have a bare minimum tonight. I think this is a huge game. This has obviously been a great season in terms of where the Bears are at right now and a lot of fun. So want to continue to talk about it and stay on top of it, man. So I'm out here. And if y'all want to do me a favor and just give me what you got so we can maintain this, okay? The Thursday night football game, I want to touch on that for just a second. Crazy game. Bills lost. Josh Allen got sacked 8 times, and Houston was just rushing 4. So that was my biggest takeaway from that game. Is like you kept feeling like the Bills were going to figure out and take control. That Houston Texans team has not been very good this year, but they have maybe the best defense in the NFL. And here's the thing: when you can rush 4 and get that kind of pressure, I like you can beat anybody in the league. There's not a team you can't compete with. They've been without CJ Stroud. They're stringing together wins. They're trying to stay in the wild card picture, and they did it tonight. That was a huge win. I mean, not just the fact that they sacked them 8 times, man, but the way they did it. Like I said, with the 4-man rush, and it's like big sack after big sack. The Bills had the game on the line, and they sacked them twice in a row. It was 4th and 27, guys. Now that play was one of the best plays I've seen all season. They threw the ball to Josh Allen, threw the ball to Josh Palmer, and then they had this drawn up where Shakir ran across and he like lateraled it to him, and the defense just wasn't ready for it. Miraculous play. And when they made a play like that, you're like, all right, they're gonna figure this out. But the pressure was just too much, man. They couldn't get it done. The Bills have some problems, I think. Every team in the league has some problems. There's no dominant, like, perfect team. Like, this team is going to be that team, which if you draw that back to the Bears, it's like, well, why can't they beat so-and-so in the playoffs if they get there? Why can't they beat the Steelers this week? Why can't they go on the road to Philly and make that a competitive game? None of these teams have really established themselves as like that dominant force. They all got blemishes. This has been a weird season. There's no favorite to me. There isn't. You can find something wrong with all these teams, and the Bills got a few things wrong with them. So I just thought it was an interesting game. The fact that they won it with Davis Mills, and I wanted to touch on it, and especially that 4-man rush, man. Like, I wish the Bears could get some pass rushers like that. Like, you had a chance at a guy like Will Anderson or Jared Verse, and like you went with Rome, and I love Rome, but like you just think about that because Will Anderson made a huge impact on that game. Vizzo, people keep saying winning like this is not sustainable, but they keep winning. What's your take on this? I'm going to get into that, and I got a very particular stat I want to talk about with that, Vizzo. So bear with me. I'm going to get to you on that. Ted says, did you see the first hit on Josh Allen? I didn't actually. I was at work, so I caught like bits and pieces throughout, and I caught most of the end of the game. But yeah, he just took a fucking beating. He got his head beat in. And here's the weird thing is that Bills offensive line has been one of the better offensive lines in the league, and they just got dominated. Dominated. It was a strange thing, you know. Now you're on the road on a Thursday night short week. The Bills will figure it out, I think. But again, like I don't got like this team is running away with the AFC vibes. You know, they beat the Chiefs, and that was supposed to be their big moment, but they lost to the Dolphins. They just lost to the Texans. Like every resume right now has blemishes on it. That's my only point. And when you think about that with the Bears, it's like, why can't they compete with these teams? None of these teams are playing consistently week to week. At least the Bears are finding ways to win week to week. Yeah, Ted, the Bears do need that kind of pressure. Montez Sweat is the only guy with double-digit quarterback hits at this point to the season, and you got to get that with all four guys. If you can rush four and have that back end just sit back and there's pressure and you can get the quarterback to make mistakes from just rushing four. I mean, we've seen it time and time again how that impacts teams. Team that jumps to mind, obviously, is the Giants that won those improbable Super Bowls just on the strength of their pass rush. The Texans have that kind of a pass rush, and it would be nice to see the Bears build something like that. Hopefully, Austin Booker being who he is right now and continuing to improve will lend itself to more of that, but I don't see it. I don't see it either, Ted. Caleb would have got out of like 4 of those sacks. Caleb is the most elusive quarterback in the NFL. It's not even close. And yeah, that's like the X factor for this Bears offense in general. Like Josh Allen did everything he could, and if it was like you could have got rid of it, and he just held it trying to make a play, and he just kept getting hit. I feel like Caleb would have gotten out of a lot of those, and that's a great equalizer against a defense like that. So when a team can get that kind of pressure, and the Steelers are a team that can get that kind of pressure, as we're going to talk about, like Caleb becomes the equalizer for that. And the Steelers know that. That's why they're trotting out some bum trying to replicate what Caleb does. But you can't, no one in the league can replicate what Caleb is doing right now in regards to evading the pressure. We need to pressure Rodgers this game. Damn straight. Yeah, we need not to just pressure him, we need to put him on his ass. Do I believe that we're going to be playing our best football by December, like Ben Johnson said? Ted, I want to. And, you know, Ben Johnson has given me and the Bears fans a lot of reasons to have strong belief in him and the things that he's saying. It feels like everything he's saying up to this point is what's happening. So, yeah, it's hard not to. At the same time, as I was saying, all these teams got blemishes. The Bears have some big ones. And it's like, how do you overcome that thing or this thing? Like, and they're finding ways to do it against some weaker teams. As the schedule gets tougher, it's going to get harder. The problem with that statement, Ted, is that, yeah, you're playing your best ball by December, but you're also playing the best teams you're going to play all year in December, and you're going to play them when they're playing their best ball too. So I don't know. They might be, Ted. They might be playing their best ball by December. I believe in Ben Johnson and his team. They're bought in, but it might not matter because of the level of competition is going up so high in December, and those teams are all working towards playing their best ball as well. So, you know, it kind of balances out in that way. We are getting some key players back, hopefully. Dante just checked in. What's up, man? Bear down. How you doing? If you got any questions, got any thoughts, let me know. Now, I didn't really get on the House Hall hangover on Monday, kind of recap that Bears-Vikings game. I do want to say I have a couple of thoughts about it, but one big takeaway that I think is important for Bears fans to realize, and I jumped on House Hall hangover and I brought this up, but I just want to get a little bit more in depth in it. First of all, I think that was the luckiest Bears win of the season. And that's a weird thing to say when you consider how they beat the Raiders, how they beat the Commanders, how they beat the Bengals, how they beat the Giants. Those were all close games. Miraculous things happened at the end of them. The Jaden Daniels fumble on the handoff, the blocked field goal in Las Vegas, the Colston Loveland touchdown with 18 seconds left when he scored that. The way they were down 20-10 with 5 and some change against the Giants, found ways to pull all those out. That Vikings game, it felt like it was a game the Bears should have lost. It felt like even the way the Bears ended it, and this is kind of where I'm going to get into and how I'm going to get to my point. It felt like the Bears were settling. The Bears were playing not to lose. The Bears weren't being aggressive. And you just seen time and time again in the NFL, me is watching it as long as I have, those teams that play like that, they lose like that. Generally, that works towards a loss. You settle for the long kick with your kicker that had already missed one and has questionable distance. Not questionable on the accuracy so much, but the distance. And I was a little concerned about that. On defense, you really pulled back. I mean, when Tyreek went out, as I said on Monday, you know, that Vikings pass game started going off, but also like we weren't getting pressure and we weren't trying to generate the pressure in creative ways. We were just kind of sitting back and letting them pick us apart. There was a lot of conservatism at the end of that game, lack of aggression that made me feel like the Bears should have lost it. I feel like they were really lucky to get out with that win, more so than any of these other games, because I felt in those games the Bears were playing in a different style, if that makes sense to you guys. Ben Johnson had his worst game as a head coach for the Chicago Bears up to this point on Sunday, in my opinion. I was very disappointed with some of the calls, some of the guys that he went to in key moments. Smythe came up with some catches, but like, I don't want him getting those targets. And like, I get it. Like they're not expecting that, but they're not expecting that because Smythe is not good at that. And it's like, you're not really getting an advantage in my mind. Running it to Travis Homer on a third down, it didn't make sense. You know, it not kind of riding with the hot hand. I don't know. It felt like, and it also felt like there was kind of a lack of faith in Caleb at the end of that game, right? To like make the plays to finish it out. Whether it was a lack of faith in Caleb or a lack of faith in the offensive line to hold it down long enough for Caleb to make a play, or a lack of faith in the receivers to catch the ball if Caleb did make a play and got it to him. But the passing game, it felt like Ben Johnson lost his faith in that. And I think he needed it to close out that game. You got your foot on their throat. You got to end it. And I felt like, again, they played to not lose. He coached to not lose rather than coaching to just win and take it. And you just, like I said, you see more times than not that never really works out for these head coaches in the NFL when they coach that way. But here's the good thing, and here's the thing, the reason I say all that, because I believe 100% that no one will learn more about Ben Johnson from that game than Ben Johnson. I can't question the results. They got the win. He ended up being in the right. I think he has a lot of things that he wants to fix from that game. And how good is it? How great is it as a Bears fan? Because we haven't really had this before where, like, you know, a coach is going to watch the film of that game or did watch the film from that game and see the things that he did wrong or he wasn't happy with. And you're going to see immediately the results of that, the change from that the next Sunday. Ben Johnson is going to make these changes based on what he sees, what he could have done better. And you're going to see that impacted on Sunday against the Steelers, guys. You're going to see it. I guarantee it. What Ben Johnson was telling us, the run game is what he's focused on. We talked about it on the bare minimum, me and Brandon. And we all should have seen it coming. Like, Ben Johnson was highly focused on the run game. We had the bye week after that Raiders game, and you just knew they were going to come out with a strong run game. Like, he was going to fix it. He told you he would, and that's what he did. The Bears have been the best running team in football since then. They're second best in the league at this point, considering how abysmal they started out those first 4 weeks. That turnaround is drastic. We have a coach that when he puts his mind to something and says, I want to fix this, I need to fix this, this needs to get better, you see the results on the field quickly. So that tells you he has an idea of how to do it, a plan to put in place. It tells you he has the buy-in of the players that need to execute it. And it tells you that it's only going to get better. So Ben Johnson has a lot to learn from that game. I do believe that was his worst coach game of his Bears tenure. If you disagree with me, it is what it is. But that's what I believe. That's how I felt watching it the entire game. But I also know that that's changing. The things that could have been better will be better this Sunday on the football field, because he has introspection, he's realistic, and he's not afraid to find out what can be done better or what he did wrong and look that in the face. This guy wants to be the best. That's the kind of head coach we have. So I just thought that was worth mentioning and talking about a little bit more in depth. I don't know what you guys think, and I'll get to some of your comments here in a second, but I just think that that's a great feeling as a Chicago Bears fan because I can't remember the last time I've had that in my head coach in Chicago, guys. It seems like a lot of times when things would be going well, but you knew it was kind of smoke and mirrors, the coach would convince themselves that, like, no, yeah, this is great. We got this. We're figuring this out, and then the front office would be convinced of it and back a coach that they shouldn't have, like just a lot of stuff like that. Whereas I feel like Ben Johnson, even when he wins, he's like, that was nowhere near good enough. And he's going to work his ass off all week to fix it. And you're going to see immediate results. That's fucking awesome. That's awesome that I know that. I have no doubts about that. Now, I don't know. I could end up being wrong, but I don't believe so. Ben Johnson is that dude. That's really what I wanted to say on that. Dante says, what are your thoughts on the deep ball overthrows and not giving a 50-50 ball? Now, that's been touched on by Ben Johnson and Caleb, Dante, and I'm sure that's why you're asking it. Ben Johnson said he's not a 50-50 guy. He doesn't design offense to be, run that way, to where the quarterback's throwing up 50-50 balls. He wants it to be more, intentional. Like, I'm designing this guy open, you hit him. Caleb then followed that up. And this is another point that we've made on Bare Minimum a couple of times, so I'll get into that. Caleb followed that up by saying, I'm not a 50-50 guy. I don't want to throw up 50-50 balls. He wants more intention. The thing that's most important about this is that they're speaking the same language, guys, consistently. Caleb said it in his press conference too, we're bought in. And Caleb's bought in. And he is the leader of this team, guys. Does not get enough credit for it, but he is marching in lockstep with Ben Johnson. And they're on the same page. So if my coach and my quarterback are telling me they're not going to go with the 50-50 balls, so be it. I'm good with that. You design this offense. This offense is working really well. Top 10 in a lot of key categories after being abysmal last year with a lot of the same staff, besides another thing that we're going to get into that's really the biggest difference in this offense in my mind besides Ben Johnson. But I mean, sometimes there's a place for those 50-50 balls, Dante, and Caleb's going to have to throw it up and trust his guys to make a play at times. There will be times in games where that just has to happen. But if you can control the game and the game plan and run your offense in the way you want to throughout the game without having to do that, I think that's probably for the best, because Ben Johnson has shown throughout his tenure in the NFL, he designs guys open really well. He's really fucking good at that. So hopefully that answers your question, Dante. So Bears win and Rams lose. Bears #1 seed. That's nuts from where we were a year ago. So I think it's if the Bears win and the Rams lose, and then the Bears got to beat the Eagles, right? That's how that works for the Bears to be the #1 seed. It's possible. I'm not going to put it past them. This team has defied the odds that I've had in my head throughout this season. Like I said, you look at the way this season has gone for every team, the NFL in general. It's been a weird fucking season. A lot of up and downs for a lot of teams. I won't put it past the Bears to make this a competitive game. Obviously, the thing I think that the Bears have done really well and that we got to do as fans is keep it in perspective and keep it in front of you. Let's not start thinking about that, Vizzo. To me, like it's cool to think about, but like go ahead and beat the Steelers first at home, take care of business, then worry about the Eagles. I think what the Bears are doing really well is Ben Johnson is saying it. We're not talking about playoffs. We're not at that spot in the season yet. We're just focusing on what's in front of us. We're in the second quarter of the season. You want to finish, the third quarter of the season, and you want to finish that out with a couple more wins. You can go 3-1, 4-0 in this third quarter of the season. Now you can start looking at playoffs and positioning and thinking about those things. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. We're 7-3, tops in the NFC North, but a big road ahead of you, a long hill to climb to even start thinking about those things in my mind. And I think the Bears are doing a really good job of compartmentalizing that and just focusing on the next game, the task at hand. And I think that's what you want. And I think that's all in effect of Ben Johnson, to be honest. Shannon, you believe in Santos? I mean, he earned that belief. He has earned that belief. He did on Sunday. So yeah, I'm with you. I mean, it's not a coincidence that Santos kind of got that trust and Moody's now gone. Like Santos has earned it, and it is what it is. Now, if he starts losing that trust, You don't have a fallback option anymore, which is what it is, I guess. I like the idea of giving Moody the opportunity because he has the leg. But at the same time, guys, I'm a Niners fan. I watch Moody lose games for the Niners, big games. All these kickers got issues. None of them are perfect. Santos has been damn good. He came through clutch on Sunday, so I'm with you, Shannon. I do feel that, but Ben Johnson learning though, and I give him props. Yes, and that's the thing about Ben Johnson that is the most impressive. He is a rookie head coach, and even when he wins, he's still able to find big learning moments because nothing has been the right way yet. Nothing has been anywhere near what he wants it to be yet. So his standard is so fucking high, guys. He's going to keep working. And as long as everybody in the building sees him working his ass off, they are not going to let him outwork them. That is just trickling down to this entire team. And you see it in every play. And the play that has stood out the most on, guys, and I said it on Monday, I'm going to say it again. The play on Sunday that encapsulated this Bears season, this Bears team up to this point was when Rome caught that ball and fell down. Nobody touched him down. He got up and he started running for the first. Every goddamn Bears player on the field ran over to him and just started pushing his ass. You do not see teams do that in the NFL to that level. Like everybody pulling on the same end of the rope. Everybody in the trenches getting it done. That play had me so fucking hyped. That was my favorite play of the Bears season so far, I think. Just the way everyone rallied to that ball and pushed him forward. Like the guys that were in that group, that was fucking awesome, man. That play encapsulates the effect of Ben Johnson on this team and this Bears season up to this point to me. Yeah, he is a bad man, Ted. Shannon says, if that's true about Ben Johnson, don't run that kind of offense, then they definitely need to trade DJ. I don't think DJ's a 50-50 ball guy, Shannon. I don't think that that's what you want from DJ. I'm having some mic issues, guys. Sorry. Give me a sec. I don't think that's what you want from DJ. I think you want him running an open field with an opportunity to make some yards after the catch for you. I don't think DJ is a guy that's high pointing the ball and beating guys out. A 50-50 ball. If I'm throwing up a 50-50 ball on this team, I'm throwing it to Rome or I'm throwing it to Colston. That's what I'm thinking about. And maybe Luther Burden. But, like, honestly, I want that big body dude that can go up and get it. And DJ ain't that to me. I mean, he's caught some 50-50 balls in his career, but I don't think that that's his strong suit. I think DJ fits really well inside this Ben Johnson offense, the idea he has of it. How many targets does DJ even get? I feel like he doesn't even get targeted as much. He needs more targets, I think. I think they got to be more intentional about that. But the thing about this offense, if you really look at it, guys, like, there's a lot of weapons, a lot of mouths to feed. And I think that once this offense is firing on all cylinders, that's the biggest advantage for this offense, besides Caleb being able to just make any defender miss and in the pocket. Because like that, you just can't coach that. And it's amazing. And I just want to see that keep happening. Like Ben Johnson has nothing to do with that, but it is one of the biggest strengths of this offense right now. And it will continue to be because nobody can fucking touch this guy in the pocket. But besides that, the amount of weapons they have, you can't game plan for one dude. You can't just say we're double teaming Rome and that's that. Like with a lot of these teams, you got that one guy, and you see it with the Cowboys. That it was very important for them to go get a George Pickens to take pressure off of CeeDee Lamb, and it's paying huge dividends because teams are still, only focusing on Lamb, and Pickens is feasting because of it. And obviously Pickens was out there without Lamb for a little bit, so he got some numbers off of that. But a big thing about that is like now that George Pickens is going off, teams are going to have to start paying more attention to him, and then CeeDee Lamb is going to get free more. So that has this cascading effect for your offense. Caleb can just play point guard with this offense. It's a huge advantage for them where no defense can come in and say that's the guy we got to stop. Every week it's somebody fucking different. You know what I'm saying? So like you want to see them being more intentional, and this is what I was talking about, and getting the targets for DJ, but at the same time it's like just get it to the open guy. Caleb's decision making needs to be better. His processing needs to be quicker, and he needs to just do that so that these guys can get going with the yak, because we got a lot of guys that can do that. But once this thing is humming on all cylinders, and Caleb is, you can't pick out a offensive player that you want to shut down and say that's going to really impact their offense. Think about that. Think about that, guys. AC Adam, what up, dude? Bear down. Thanks for being here. Dante says, I agree. I'm just frustrated with all the field goals. Not happy with the red zone timing and releases either. I've been saying this, man, and I think the red zone thing really comes down to what I was just talking about with Caleb. You know, the timing needs to be there in the red zone, and the trust needs to be there, and the anticipation needs to be there, and the decision making needs to be quick. Those windows close so fast in the NFL, regardless of where you are on the field, but everything condenses and tightens up, obviously, when you're in the red zone. So Caleb can't be running around buying time in the red zone. Caleb needs to be quick decision. And that is where you can give some of those 50-50 opportunities. Fades to Rome would be good to see. Fades to Colston Loveland will be good to see. Now, these guys can also get separation and get, you've seen that, and that's how they've gotten their touchdowns in the red zone when they have. But I think a big part of their red zone inefficiency, Dante, is Caleb's inefficiency. I love Caleb. He's been kicking ass, man. And like it's a lot of fun to watch. But in the red zone, it can't be that unless you're gonna run, take off with your legs. But he's got to be quicker with those decisions too. He does. If you're gonna run, just go. If you're gonna pass, get rid of the ball. The windows are open and closed way too fast in the red zone for you to be looking this guy off and shaking this defender and trying to run around in the pocket. You got to get rid of the fucking ball, man. Once Caleb starts doing that, I think the red zone efficiency gets much better. I really do. Ted says, I know it's early, but do you think we an edge or left tackle our first round pick next year? I think you can go either or, man. But the way this team is drafted, and I think considering Austin, if it's going to depend on Austin Booker, I guess, Ted. If Austin Booker continues to put Christian Darrisaw on his ass with one arm, like you might just have that guy and you can wait on that first round defensive end, depending on what talent falls to you. Obviously, if say Ruben Bain were to fall to 19 where the Bears are picking, or 22, like you just never know. But I think left tackle, there's a lot of really strong tackles in this draft, and there's going to be more where the Bears are probably going to be picking, and it's depending on how Austin Booker plays, it might be a much more important position to address the left tackle, because I don't know how much better Benedette can get. I think he's just limited in some ways. That's not going to change. He's a hard worker. He's trying to be technically sound. He works his ass off, and he plays harder than probably anybody else on that team, I would imagine, for him to have earned this spot the way he has in this season. But he has physical limitations that you won't have with a Caden Proctor. That guy's a physical anomaly. So if you can get that guy in the 20s in this draft, I think you do that. I think it might be more pressing, because I do believe Austin Booker is going to turn into a pass rushing beast in the NFL. And I think he's showing signs of that, guys. So to answer your question, Ted, this early on, that's where I'm leaning as I think about it. But obviously a lot of shit's going to change. Bizzo, Dustin, Steelers have a winning record. What will the pundit say if Bears win after saying Bears haven't beat a winning team? Now, I think the Commanders had a winning record when the Bears beat them. But, like, I guess that's a technicality. I don't give a shit, Vizzo. I guess that's my answer. Like, you don't get to pick who you're playing. The schedule is the schedule. Bears got to beat the teams in front of them. And the Steelers have a winning record, but they're a very strange team. They do some things really well, and they do a lot of things really shitty. I don't think Arthur Smith is a good offensive coordinator. I didn't think that was a good hire for them when they did it. And I think it's showing in their run game stats and their passing game stats, all of that. I think if the Bears beat the Steelers, they'll definitely be taken more seriously by the national pundits that you're talking about. But at the same time, I don't give a fuck, and neither should you, because the Bears will be 8-3 going into like what will be a heavyweight match at the top of the NFC with the defending champion Philadelphia Eagles. So I don't give a fuck how you got to 8-3, man. If you got there and you beat nothing but scrubs, NFL made the schedule. Go talk to them. You're getting wins. Like, the Bears just have this feeling of this team that's going to keep finding ways to win, you know? Now, eventually that luck runs out. You see that every year with these teams that have these type of runs, these miraculous runs. But, like, it usually lasts through the season. It usually runs out on you in the playoffs. So as long as the Bears get in the playoffs in a year where, you know, we all looked at it as a building, foundational year, that's just icing on the cake, man. And don't listen to what these motherfuckers say, you know. The Bears are doing a lot of things really well. Shorty, what up, dude? Thank you for being here, brother. Good to see you. Bear the fuck down. I am flying solo tonight, Shorty. Man, if we can get in trade DJ and get picks to help the defense, oh my God. Shannon, I mean, right now, DJ is an important part of this offense, I think, and I think he's an important piece in that locker room. And the Bears want to see what they got. That's an off-season thing, I think, if that were to happen. And the thing you got to think about with these trade things is like, yeah, these trade conversations when you're talking about DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, these guys make a lot of money, and the Bears are going to need a lot of cap room. They don't have a lot right now, and it's going to be worse. So, like, those trades become much more realistic after Ben Johnson sees what he has this year and like who was really pivotal and who was important. Can we afford to get rid of a DJ? I don't think you can afford to get rid of a DJ right now. I think he's a crucial piece of your locker room. I think he's a big reason why I was just saying that a huge advantage for your offense is that you can't single out anybody. So, I mean, like right now, let's just ride it out and see what we got. But yeah, maybe in the future, that's a decision they're willing to make. Definitely a trade bait candidate. And yeah, I've been saying that all season, guys. I was saying that before the season started. You know, if I can get the right thing for right package for DJ, I'd do it before the season started. But at the same time, like, again, I just think the effect that he has is not just statistics. So this team currently, as constructed, it needs him. And it's going well so far. Like, let's not fix what ain't broken at this point. Okay, Shorty. Oh, let's see here. Copy, go to Gmail. Shorty, give me a second. Be cool to jump. Hey, actually, Shorty, give me your email. Maybe I have it in here. There it is. I got you. Sorry, guys. Just doing a little on the fly producing. I was hoping Shorty was going to jump in here and say that. I swear to God, I was. I just sent it to you, Shorty. Let me know if you got it. How far do I think the Bears can take it? Let's get into that conversation because I don't want to be on here all night, Shorty. Me and you, 30 minutes or so, and then we'll finish it out. Like to get your prediction if you jump on here. The net point rating is a thing that you got to look at with teams, right? When they have wins, I think that matters. Sean threw this out on the Barely There. I want to go a little deeper with it in terms of what this means. Let me get that fucking comment out the way. So when you talk about the Bears being first in the NFC North, that's great. Negative six net points, your negative 6 point differential. That's not great, guys. Green Bay's plus 44, Detroit's plus 76. A team like the Vikings, negative 14. So, I mean, the Bears are 7-3. And every year you see these teams that do this, that have these point differentials where you're thinking, like, that's not going to work out for them in the end. And, you know, they still end up making the playoffs, but, you know, they're kind of fraudulent. Let's just be real. So I was thinking about this, actually, the last couple of days, and I wanted to check it out. So I did. Teams with negative net rating over the last 10 years that have gone to the playoffs. Houston Texans in 2015, they were a negative 49. They lost in the wild card. Detroit Lions in 2016, they were a negative 12 differential, lost in the wild card. The Houston Texans in 2016, we all remember these Houston Texans teams, guys. Negative 49 point differential. Again, one wild card, lost in the divisional. 2017 Buffalo Bills, they were negative 57. They lost in the wild card. There's kind of a theme here. These teams lose early in the playoffs, generally speaking. There is one outlier, though, that I'll be interested to talk about when it comes to this conversation. 2019, the Houston Texans were a negative 7. One wild card, lost divisional. 2020 Cleveland Browns were minus 11. One wild card, lost divisional. This is the outlier team right here, guys. And this one's interesting because, like, when you start talking about how far the Bears can take it, this Los Angeles Rams team in 2021, y'all remember what they did? They were a negative 19 point differential for the season. They won the fucking Super Bowl. That's the year they beat the Bengals, right? Matt Stafford's first year with the Rams. They were a negative 19 point differential. If y'all remember, that defense was really bad all season, started figuring it out in the playoffs, won the Super Bowl, the negative 19 point differential. Let me get these comments back up because 2011 Giants won the Super Bowl. That's a team that I brought up earlier. Yeah, I only went back 10 years though. So I mean, yeah. But here's another one: the 2021 Los Angeles Rams -19 won the Super Bowl. And the reason I only went back 10 years, Ra, is because like the game has changed so much in the last 15 years, to be honest. So when you're talking about that Giants team, it was a different type of football being played. I think this is more indicative of what's going on in the NFL right now. And even there's been a lot of change just in the last 5 years. 2022 Minnesota Vikings -19 lost in the wild card. That was to that Giants team they lost to. I knew they were fraudulent, and they went 12-4 that year. Miami Dolphins -17 in 2022. They lost in the wild card. 2022 Tampa Bay Buccaneers -17 lost in the wild card. The 2022 New York Giants were -6. They beat the Vikings in that wild card. Yes, lost in the divisional. 2023 Tampa Bay Buccaneers -14 lost in the divisional. And the 23 Falcons were -19. They lost in the wild card. Am I crazy for us winning wild card and losing the next round? No, I mean, that's the trend. Like these teams that have these negative point differentials just in the last 10 years. I mean, you brought up the 2011 Giants, but the 2021 Rams, they won a Super Bowl, right? So, but like they were the outlier of that group. The general trend is that you lose in the wild card, you win the wild card maybe if you get lucky, and you lose in the divisional. But like, here's the question, guys. What's up, Shorty?
Dude, what's up? What's up, my man?
What's up? Let me ask you this question because I just went through all those. I don't know how much you heard of that, but
I did. I heard
okay.
it all.
All right, very good. So, if the trend is losing in the wild card, or the trend is winning the wild card, losing in the divisional, you got the one outlier, the Rams, that won the Super Bowl in the last 10 years with this negative point differential. Are you okay with that as a Bears fan? Because I fucking am. I am. I'll say I am. But you go ahead, Shorty.
Well, that makes you a Packer fan then.
In what way?
Because if you make the playoffs every year, but you lose in it.
We don't make the playoffs every year in Chicago. I'm just excited to get there at this point this year, Shorty.
But if you made the playoffs for the next 10 years and went to one NFC championship game that you actually won, and you went to the Super Bowl and you won one Super Bowl. This is a good question because if you won one Super Bowl and went to 8 straight or 5 straight NFC championship games, would it make a difference?
Shorty, I've been alive for 39 years. I've never seen the Bears win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, yes, I'll take a Super Bowl. I'll take the one. And if you got here's the way I look at it. First of all, I don't think it's like just being like a sad, like lowered expectations guy when I'm looking at this team and what I expected from them going into this season. If they make the playoffs and compete and they get knocked out in the wild card or they get knocked out in the divisional after winning a wild card game, like I feel like that's well beyond the timeline of what I expected. Mm-hmm. Am I okay with that? Am I settling for that? Fuck no. Next year, this team is contending. That's the way I'm looking at it, So I'm more talking about this year in general because I believe in Ben Johnson and what they're setting up here, the structure. So I see a bright future, and I think that would just be the beginning of it. But a lot of times you see teams find early success and then they fizzle out. So like you just never know. I'm more considering the sustained winning. And yeah, man, to get to a Super Bowl and win it, it's one of the hardest things in sports, obviously. And you got to be there to have a chance. So if you consistently are there, I'm pretty happy with that too, because as a Bears fan, I ain't been seeing that shit, Shorty, and neither of you.
No, no, you're correct about that. I have this debate with but first off, I want to say thank you for having me on the show.
My pleasure, dude. Thank you for jumping on. You saved my ass.
Listen, my show ends like right when yours is about to start, and I got a bunch of stuff to do, and I'm always like in your chat, and I love you guys. We support you guys. You guys are like seriously one of the only podcasts that I watch anymore after doing this for 4 years. It becomes like so diluted that you find your favorites and you stick with them, and you're one of mine. And so I want to thank
Same here, man. Thank you.
Thank you, man. You do a great job. And it's an honor to be here with you right now. Hopping in that last second right out of nowhere. And
yeah, you're coming in the clutch, man. You're fucking Caleb tonight for me, man.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, thank you. But like my buddy and I always have this debate. Like would you rather make the playoffs every single year and be the Packers and only win one Super Bowl with a Hall of Fame quarterback each decade, or each, decade of Hall of Fame quarterbacks for them? Or would you rather win, would you rather do that and win one Super Bowl, or would you rather never be in the playoffs and be like what we are right now, which is one hit wonders, and then we make the playoffs and then we're out of it. A double doink. I still call that a blocked field goal. It was, but
Okay.
This is a good debate, because what would you rather be? What would you rather be as a Bears fan? In the playoffs every year, and
I'd rather be in the thick of it, shorty. I would.
It gives you a chance, right?
Yes, yeah, because you got to get there. You got to get to the dance, to have a chance. So like that's where I'm at with it. And I'm a Niners fan, and I've watched them have some heartbreaking losses over the last 15 years, man. But at least they've been there and they've been consistently contending for the most part. And I think there's something to be said about that, because the ball could bounce a certain way in any game, and like you end up winning that Super Bowl. And as I said, man, I'm coming up on 40 and I ain't seen it. The Bears won a Super Bowl right before I was born, and it's been nothing since then. We went to a Super Bowl in 05, 06 and got to experience that. But I would rather see my team lose in the Super Bowl than watch the shit I've been watching for this Bears team in the last 10 years.
I've got to stop you for a second and ask you. You just said you're a Niners fan.
I am.
Wait. Why are there Bears jerseys? And so
I'm a Niners fan and a Bears fan. Let me explain it to you, because I've explained it before, but I'll explain.
I haven't seen that part. Okay.
Okay. So I grew up. My dad wasn't around. My grandfather was, and he was a Niners fan. And I think I'll just say that my grandfather, wonderful fucking person. He passed away. This is for him. He was a Red Sox fan too. He was from New York. He was a Niners fan. He was a Red Sox fan. he was what was his basketball team? Was the Celtics. He was a bandwagon motherfucker. He was all over the place. he was bandwagon for sure. But me growing up, I didn't know that when the Red Sox came to Chicago to play the White Sox, that's when I would go to a baseball game. Or when the Niners were playing the Colts, we would go to a football game, or in the Niners playing the Bears. So like I grew up rooting in that way. It's just the way it was. Now, I mean, growing up in Chicago, I've always been a Bears fan, and always been a Bulls fan. Bulls are my number one team.
But you had the Niners in your heart because of your family.
100%, yeah. So that's why, and I've rooted for them hard for my whole life. I remember one of my better memories as a kid was watching that '94 Super Bowl when the Niners beat the shit out of the Chargers. That was great.
I'll be honest, like even growing up a Bears fan, and we lost to the Niners after the 86, 87 season or whatever, and we lost to them in the championship game in '83. Mm-hmm. We lost to them a couple years later in the playoffs. I always loved the Montana to Rice connect. It's just you can't.
Yeah. How can you not? How can you not? And so when you start talking about, but the Niners were a dynasty, but the 90s didn't really. The Cowboys, I guess you would say, were the dynasty of the 90s.
Yeah.
The Patriots, the 2000s, and then some of the the 2010s, and then the Chiefs took over. But like, there's usually only one team like that, shorty. So like, those teams that win in between, they're giving their fan base something, like not every team can be that. Can Caleb and Ben Johnson do it? I'm starting to believe it. Can they be that type of team? But like, I'm not there yet, but at the same time, like, I'll just be happy with one.
This is why I love your show, is because of your perspective on that. Everything that you just said is what makes me love your show. It's grounded. It has reason behind it. It makes sense. And
well, thank you.
Absolutely, man.
And you too. So, I mean, like, if we get one out of this Ben Johnson, Caleb thing, I'm with it and I'm here for it. And my attitude this whole season, shorty, has just been, fuck it. Give me what you got. I'm having fun. I'm not going to like continue to raise my expectations. I'm not going to lower them. I'm just going to stay right here. And I'm going to go on this journey with this team. Cause I literally not since like 2003 have I seen this team start putting pieces in place to have a foundation that they can actually build on. This team's always trying to convince itself it's reloading. It's always trying to convince itself that it's going to compete, and you see them fall flat on their face, like that Lucy pulls away the football. You know, that's what I've seen from the Chicago Bears team, delusions of grandeur in terms of what they are and not doing it the right way. I feel like Bears fans should really embrace this time as a Bears fan because, like, it's very rare that we've seen the Bears actually commit to a build.
Right.
You know?
Because it's always been about the one-hit wonder, right? Like
Mhm.
we've gone 5, 6, 7, 8 years without making the playoffs. We go 13-3, 12-4, we make the playoffs and we get a double doink or whatever the fuck it might be. And then
you're out of the playoffs the next year.
right. Then you're not back in for like another 8 years or 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
But this feels different, right? It feels
does.
like it feels special because Ben Johnson is proving himself to be that guy. Like everyone
Fuck yeah, he is.
notices it, not just us as fans, but the entire NFL is on notice with it. And he has the pieces. Is Caleb Williams a perfect piece? Is he perfect right now? No, of course not. In my opinion, it takes, as we've seen in history, it takes 3 years in the same offense to master it. You have how many different plays in one offense, but you've got how many plays within one play.
Yeah, that one play that you're running out of 10 different formations or yes, 100%.
So
and it's a lot to master.
By year 3 in the same offense, you have that mastered. So like those 2 overthrows in the game last week in the first half, in the beginning of the game, those overthrows by Caleb to DJ and Rome, like that's not going to happen in 2 years. It's just not. Like it's going to get dialed in. That connection between head coach, offensive coordinator / offensive coordinator, quarterback, wide receiver, those passes are going to get dialed in. We're going to see those connected. We're going to see those big plays happening. It's a process, and I love that we're starting to finally see our fan base recognizing that. And we had a shitload of Caleb haters in the beginning, and then they're like starting to drop off like flies right now because nobody can say anything bad. They're seeing what
we saw. Yeah,
we're seeing it. It's the process. It's developing. It's happening.
Let me say this because you touched on and those haters were real loud, especially at the start of the season, even and going into it. It's definitely gotten quiet, and Caleb's going to continue to do that. But what you touched on is a huge part of this, I think, because that it's the coach and the quarterback. It's the play caller and the quarterback figuring it out. So I think there's been this preconceived notion that Caleb needs to fit into Ben Johnson's system, what Ben Johnson wants. There's a part of that for sure. But the part that we're not talking about, and that's really important, is Ben Johnson needs to fit it to Caleb Williams too. Ben Johnson is going to learn this year a lot about how he's going to make this offense easier for Caleb Williams to run, not just Caleb Williams fit into what he does. And that's what's different from this team and this coach than what we've seen from Matt Nagy trying to fit Justin Fields into a fucking square peg, a round hole into a square peg. Trubisky with Matt Nagy. Just you can go on and all those offensive coordinators with Jay Cutler. He went through fucking 7 of them. Always trying to force that quarterback into what you want them to be. We can't do that as fans. Ben Johnson can't do that as a coach. There's a lot Ben Johnson is going to figure out and change. Ben Johnson's offense right now is going to be very different in 2 years because he's molding it around Caleb Williams.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. That's exactly it.
And that's where the sustainability comes from, Shorty. That's what we're talking about right here. So we're talking about this team, what's their ceiling this season, and that's all well and good. And like I said, I'm just here for the ride, and wherever that falls, I'm going to be happy because what I am seeing is building a foundation that's sustainable for the next 5 to 10 years, and that's what really matters to me. Being in it every year so you finally get one because you got to be there to get it.
That's the difference we're seeing right now, right? Mm-hmm. It's not we see the building of a foundation that's going to be sustainable, not a one-hit wonder. That's what's so exciting about being a Bears fan right now. And all the people all the fans that were just negative and shitting on it. It's just like if you go back to like the Michael Jordan days, like when he was getting his ass kicked by the
that took a lot of time. That took a lot of time.
It did. Like everyone, if Michael Jordan was Caleb back then, they would have given up
Giving
on
up on him after fucking 1 year.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
He's hurt. He can never be on the court. And
right,
a lot of
he broke
people
his
did.
ankle, like,
Yeah, a lot of people said that about Michael at the time, but like at the same time, the Bulls had the conviction to stick with it and to start getting the right pieces to put around
and they
Michael,
got the right head
to
coach.
get the right head coach. And I mean, like, this is all happening at hyper speed, honestly, with Caleb. You go from what he experienced last year, which was complete malfunction, disorganization, the exact opposite of what you want to bring a generational quarterback into, to this year. It's a whirlwind for Caleb too. It's a whirlwind for us as fans, but they are really in hyperspeed with this timeline right now, Shorty. When you just make that correlation to Michael Jordan, that was 6.5 years of toil for Michael Jordan until you got to that level where he can compete for championships. And he needed the right pieces around him. Yep. Same thing goes for Caleb Williams right now, in my mind, or any quarterback that you want to be successful in the NFL.
And enjoy the process. It's happening in front of our eyes. I mean, these it's not easy to win in the NFL, man. It's not.
Nope.
And we're getting the wins that we wouldn't have gotten in the past. And we're seeing with a rookie head coach. So
who's learning every week too. He's learning every
his
week
players.
too.
He's learning how to he's learning
how to manage the game, how to manage the clock.
He said it himself. It was a bad play call. It was a bad play call. You know, it was that's on me. He calls it out on himself when it's the wrong play. It's just it's literally the most exciting time to be a Bears fan right
or
now.
A sports fan in general of any team when you see something like this happening, Shorty.
100%.
And I don't think Bears fans are appreciating it enough in this moment. I don't want to start looking too far ahead. I want to see where it goes, and I'm excited for it. But again, 40 years of being on this earth, I've been watching football. I could name every fucking football team by looking at their helmets when I was 4 years old. I've been watching football my whole fucking life. I have never seen a Bears team do what this Bears team is doing. It cannot be overstated how significant and rare this is as a Chicago Bears fan. It just can't, to me.
You can compare it to 2018 as far as like the ball bouncing our way per se. You know what I mean? But like this is different because that team had their full starting lineup on both sides for most of the season, right? That was the special thing about that season, is that we got lucky in so many regards that we had very little injuries. Here we're sitting with our 4th, 5th, 6th cornerback, defensive back, and when we pull a guy off the streets and CJ Gardner-Johnson, and we're making it.
Nashawn Wright pulled him off the street. You know, like a lot of these guys, right? And so what that tells you is that there's the proof is in the pudding, and there's more to it. It's the coaching. It's Al Harris. It's Antoine Randall L, right? It's Dennis Allen. It's Ben Johnson. It's Declan Doyle. It's that trickle down effect. Everyone is speaking the same language and pulling on the same end of the rope. And that's where I'll say it's different. That you can just say the ball's bouncing the right way for them, but the Bears are making their own break, Shorty. It's not like the break is just coming to them. They're blocking field goals. The fumble, the Jaden Daniels fumble, that's one that's an unforced error. That's, but like pretty consistently, the Bears are cashing in on these opportunities to find a way to win and have the higher score with no time left on the clock. They're making their own breaks. So that tells you that this team is bought into what these coaches are telling them, you know?
And you hear the coach say it himself in press conferences. This is by design.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a fluke. It's by design.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh God, it's
and you can't take all the credit, and you can't just be okay with it. And that's the cool thing is I don't think Ben Johnson is. I think he's looking at every week how these things play out, how these games end up, and he's saying this is where we can get better. And that was the point I was making earlier in the show before you jumped on, man. Like, you just see the immediate effect of what Ben Johnson puts his mind to on the field the next week. He went into that bye saying, I'm going to fix this run game, and I believed him. And then they've been the best running team in the NFL since then.
My favorite thing about Ben Johnson is his look, his game time look. When he's on the field and he just has that like.
That's the don't fuck with dad look.
Right. Scary, right? Like that we all have that person in our lives at some point, whether it's a boss or a parent or whoever, that when they give you that look,
Mm-hmm.
you take it seriously. You don't mess with it, man. You're like, I got it. I got it. It's happened many times to me in my life, in my career, in my family, and whatever. And you're seeing that from Ben Johnson. That look, that game time look on his face says it all. And that's where the fucking respect comes from his players. They know it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's so special about this coaching staff and Ben Johnson himself.
Yep, and Ben Johnson's working harder than anybody in that building. So that nobody is going to let themselves be caught not working hard. When you think about the example that's being set, this is new. And all I'm saying, and I'll continue to say it, my message before we get into the Steelers game, because I do want to talk about that a little bit, and I want to talk about this offensive line too. But before we get into the Steelers game, just enjoy this, Bears fans, because if you're my age, you've seen this one time before, and I didn't even realize it. I was seeing it in those early 2000s as they were accumulating the Urlachers and the Briggs and the Alex Browns and the Peanut Tillmans and because like it just never the Devin Hesters. It just didn't feel real until it was happening, and I didn't really appreciate it in the moment. I was in high school. Like right now, I'm understanding what I'm seeing, and I'm just appreciating it, man. And I'm happy. Like I am. I'm legitimately happy as a Bears fan for the first time in a long time.
For me, in that time that you're talking about, I thought, that Super Bowl. Well, we lost it, but we'll be back.
We'll get back.
Yeah, like so. Yeah, to your point, like it's
here and gone. Yeah, fleeting is the great word.
This is the moment. Do it now. And if you can't do it, it's the moment's gone. It's out the. It's a new team next year, all new players, all new atmosphere, all new chemistry, new guys. Guys leave, you bring in new guys.
The thing that's limiting about limits the fleetingness of this is the fact that the head coach is the offensive play caller, and the quarterback is a number one overall. Exactly. Like you never had that offensively with those Bears teams that were fun to watch and they were damn good. But Shorty, we never really, I'm sure you'll admit to it, you never really believed that they could beat the Colts because the Colts had Peyton Manning.
I did, because I didn't think that Peyton Manning didn't win big games back then. Like he kept losing to the Patriots.
Yeah,
he lost in the when he was in college. He lost those big games. I really thought he was going to lose that game. I think the only thing that took us out of it was, I really thought the rain was going to help us too. It would help to subtle Peyton Manning, but no.
Instead, it led to a Cedric Benson fumble.
The problem was that Lovie Smith was so stubborn with that defensive front that he refused to
send pressure.
Well, he refused to use a nickel defense for.
He stayed in his base. He stayed in that shell coverage. Peyton Manning picked it apart
100 times. They refused to get out of that cover two and go into a nickel, because the nickel would have put like a safety on a running back,
an extra defensive back on the field.
Yeah, running back.
A die killed the Bears in that game. Yeah, you saw it unfolding, and that's what it is at the end of the day. And I think the difference is Ben Johnson is gonna adapt. He's shown that he will change. He doesn't have a single way that he needs to win a game. He's going to do it whatever way is necessary, whereas a guy like Lovie Smith was going to live or die with that cover two defense. And then the league changed, and he died. And that's what happened. The offense started to take off in the league, and teams that had a Peyton Manning were better off. And that's just the reality of it, because you can pick apart a cover two defense. Caleb Williams can be this team's Peyton Manning or Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes. He has that skill level. Can Ben Johnson tap into it and get him to just settle down just a little bit and play with some rhythm within that offense? That's what it comes down to.
I think he will be.
I think so too.
It takes, in my opinion, it takes 3 years for a quarterback to learn the offense. Like all the great ones are in the same offense for how many years? At least 3, right? So by year 3, 4, 5, they're humming in that offense. Caleb will be humming in this offense by year 3. It might not even be next year. We might see some overthrows and that kind of stuff, but by year 3, those connections to DJ and Rome that we saw in this last game, they're going to be hit. He's going to hit them. I 100% believe it. I feel like I went into the future and saw it and came back. And I'm trying to preach it. That's how I feel about it. Like, it's going to happen, man. It's a matter of enjoying the process, watching it unfold before our very own eyes, and just loving it and just enjoying the wins. Enjoying the wins.
I agree, man. And the schedule's about to get a lot tougher. But I've been saying the Bears will be 8-3 when they go into Philly for quite some time now. I think that I still feel that way. I think this Steelers team can be beat, Shorty. I know y'all just did a show, but let me just ask you, what do you think the key or the what's the thing you're going to be watching going into this game at Soldier Field? Bears hosting the Steelers. What do you think is going to be the biggest necessity for the Bears to get done in order to come out with a win?
That's a good question. I was going to ask you a question, but
then you ask me first. It's okay.
I was going to ask you, like, what do you think? No, you messed me all up now. Let me answer your question. Ask it again.
Yes. What's the key to the game, man? What are you going to be looking at this Sunday for the Bears to get out with a W?
Who's the quarterback?
I think it's Aaron Rodgers, man. I think Rodgers is going to do everything he can to play.
If it's Aaron Rodgers, the key is to end his career, just like we did with Brett Favre with the Vikings.
Yeah, with Corey Wooten.
Exactly. Thank you. Yeah. Assuming that doesn't happen, though, I think the key to this game is you've got to, so. They're not very good at running the game right now. At the running game right now, as far as I know.
88.2 rush yards per game, Shorty. 29th.
Right. So, but that's the thing that always bites us in the ass when we hit a team like that that's on a downfall. Oh, their running game sucks, and then boom.
The Bears are allowing 133 rushing yards per game, Shorty.
Right.
So, which something's got to give there. Right.
So my worry is that they're going to bust off 250 off of us this week, and that will be what boosts Aaron Rodgers if he's playing to win the game. Ultimately, I think that it's a home game. Our fan base is going to dominate this game.
Yeah.
I think that the key to this game is that we just hit on the dropped balls last week, man.
Yeah, they were big. There was a couple, the Burden one and the DJ Moore one obviously specifically stand out. And it's been a couple weeks of a rough go for this receiving core in that regard. But a couple things that happened that really, give you some hope and some faith is that Luther Burden outsnapped OZ. That's finally taken shape and happening. Luke Burden has got a stranglehold on that, I think, at this point until he gives it up. And I don't think he's going to. I think he's going to make some big plays. The key to me will be on both sides of the ball, getting pressure on the quarterback and keeping pressure off your quarterback. The Steelers defense gets after the quarterback, four guys with double-digit hits on the quarterback, all the way down to Highsmith. They got players that get after the quarterback. And honestly, that secondary looked really good to me going into the season, and they've been shit. They've been one of the worst against the pass. Let's see here. Pittsburgh versus the pass. They're allowing 368 passing yards per game, Shorty. I mean, that's a lot. And you got Jalen Ramsey, Joey Porter Jr. I mean, they got some damn good cornerbacks on that team. So it really comes down to, can you protect Caleb so he can pick apart that defense? Because they play a lot of man, right? And so Caleb's going to be able to find – Rome gets separation against man. Luther Burden will get separation against man. Can you give him enough protection to connect on those things? Because it can't be him running around all day and trying to figure that out, because TJ Watt will get you and you'll make some mistakes. So can the Bears get pressure on Aaron Rodgers? I think you got to hit. If he plays, you got to hit him. If it's Mason Rudolph, you got to hit him. Both those guys are stationary quarterbacks. Go hit him hard. Get pressure and protect Caleb Williams, because if you can, he's going to hit some big plays. I think I thought Luther Burden was going to go off last week, and it was so close. It was right there, and I think it's going to happen. You're going to see some big plays from Luther Burden. It's bound to happen, and I think that Yeah, and when you look at the pass yards allowed by the Steelers defense, man, it's there to be taken. It is. And Aaron Rodgers, their passing game, Shorty, has not been great, man. When you look at Pittsburgh's passing, what is it? 198.7 yards per game passing. That's 22nd in the league. They're throwing it 30 times a game. I mean, their QB's not sacked very much, so they're doing a good job protecting the quarterback. Can Dennis Allen draw some shit up to get pressure on whoever that quarterback is? I do believe it's going to be Aaron Rodgers, Shorty.
Do you think Kyler's going to play this week?
No, I don't. I don't think Jalen's going to play. I don't think Kyler's going to play. And since you just brought it up, I'm just going to throw this out here real quick because this is important to show if my computer will work with me. This is today's injury report. Tremaine Edmonds, DNP 2 days in a row. He's not playing. TJ Edwards, DNP 2 days in a row. He's not playing. Travis Homer, thank God. Get him out of here. DNP today. Roschon Johnson, DNP.
Wait. Roschon Johnson, who?
I mean, I had big faith in Monungai to overtake him very easily. And I mean, when Roschon can't get on the field, it is what it is. You know, it's a done deal. Noah Sewell, though, man. So your 3 starting linebackers, all DNPs 2 days in a row. Ruben Hippolyte is going to get run on Sunday. What is that going to look like? That's going to be interesting because it doesn't look like any of these 3 linebackers are playing, Shorty. And then, yeah, you had Jaquan Brisker go full. You had Byard go full. You had Grady Jarrett go full. Let me get this comment out the way. And then Jalen Johnson was a full participant. I don't know what that means. He's on IR still. Kyler Gordon's still on IR. And I don't think they're pulling him off this week, to be honest. I don't want Jalen Johnson to rush back. He's already shown he's a guy that will play maybe when he shouldn't. And I think the team's got to help him out there and not let him get out there until he is 100%. Because as I was saying, Shorty, it's not just about this year. It's about the future as well. And Jalen Johnson is a big part of that. So I don't want to see him unless he's really good to go.
Agreed.
I don't think we're going to. DeAndre Swift was full. So, I mean, our secondary is
with Gordon, Kyler Gordon. I don't want him out there unless he's ready to go.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that's okay. I think you've been getting by with what you have. The key for the Bears defense has been situational. Third down, getting off the field and getting takeaways, leading the league in takeaways, leading the league in turnover margin. And the Steelers are pretty damn good at that too. They're right up there in the top 5. So,
man, I think you cannot count out that head coach, right? Like,
no, you can't.
He's one of the best head coaches in the league. So
that's worth talking about, Shorty. I mean, you're talking about Ben Johnson versus Mike Tomlin. We have seen Ben Johnson when he's gone up against these veteran head coaches. He's had some issues. He got out coached a little bit by KOC last week. He got out coached by KOC in week 1. He did. He got out coached, handedly by Dan Campbell. What else did we have? What was the other loss? Why am I blanking on that? I'm trying to erase it from my head.
Ravens.
Yes, and that's a hardball. Like these coaches that have pedigree, that have found ways to win. And I mean, it should be expected when you have a rookie head coach. That is an edge for the Steelers in this game. Like if you're talking about coaching as one of the matchup statistics, I'm putting a check mark next to Mike Tomlin's name because he does find ways to win games, especially games that he shouldn't, man.
What is our record at home right now?
Record at home is they lost to the Vikings. That's it. They lost to the Lions on the road. They lost to the Ravens on the road.
Yeah, we've had so many away games. It's hard to guess because we've had 2, 2, and 1. And then we have 2 more away games. And then we have 2 home games in a row for the first time in a couple of weeks. That's the first time this season that we have 2 home games in a row.
What are they, 3-1 at home then?
Yeah.
Or is it 4
about right? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't got the schedule in front of me.
It sounds about right, though.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think that the confidence comes from it being a home game more than
100%.
If we were in Pittsburgh playing Mike Tomlin, I'd be like, a little bit worried right now. But
I've had this as a win all off season.
That was my question. Like, what did you have him at this point this far in the season? I had him at 6-4.
I had him finishing 8 and 9, and I think I had them at 6 and 4 at this spot. Yeah,
Okay.
I think
And
that
I'm
made
happy.
sense.
I'm happy that I'm losing.
Yes.
So we did a panel of like 5 or 7 people that, you know, and a chat panel. The chat had him 15-2. So
15 and 2 for this,
not a single
going into the
loss at this
season.
point. Yeah, our chat. But of all of us on the panel, there was like 7 of us. The winner is Jason UK Bears from the British. He's a British Bears fan.
Yeah, I saw him. He's good.
He's 7-3 right now. He's the only one right there. The rest of us are like, you know, we have a losing record, or like me. I had 6 and 4. So,
I believe I had them at exactly the same thing, but I had them losing. This stretch of the schedule is just so tough. Short.
Yeah, I had a big winning streak at the end, like all wins, like the last 5 games.
What'd you pick them to go for the season, Shorty?
10-7.
I had 8 and 9, man.
Oh, okay.
I did so many simulations and I ran through it so many times, and my highest was 10 and my lowest was 7, and I ended up settling at 8 wins, and that's why I'm just so pleasantly surprised right now, man.
Hey, man,
really,
and good for you. You should,
yeah.
like, I wish I could predict a record that wasn't favorable to you know what my thoughts are, but
well, 10 wins is looking much more probable than 8 at this point. The Bears are getting more than 2 more wins. Yeah, 1 more win. The Bears are going to get 1 more win this Sunday. But when you talk about how treacherous the schedule becomes, that's why a home game against the Steelers team that has been Jekyll and Hyde all season, up and down, you know, playing up to competition, playing down to competition. They've been very inconsistent. That's when you got to take care of business at home and get that 8th win. So now you only need 2 more out of your last, 6 games in order to really give your shot at the playoffs at a wild card, man. And you got the Browns in there, and you got the Packers at home who've been very inconsistent, So the Lions have shown, again, every team has shown blemishes this year.
Dude, this is a weird season, isn't it?
It is. I was saying that to start the show, man. Like, you just watch the Bills tonight. Like, they just couldn't get it going. That's been one of the best offensive lines in football. And they got manhandled. Yeah, they lost. They lost 23-19 to the Texans. And the Texans just rushed 4 all fucking night, Shorty. And they sacked Josh Allen 8 times. Josh Allen.
Shit. I was doing a show, so I didn't know. I have no idea what happened tonight.
So, wow. And they lost to the Dolphins a couple weeks ago. So, I mean, you're talking about all these teams. No one has established themselves as that team. The Broncos have the best record in football, and they've looked like shit most of the season. It's been such a weird season, man. So, like, that's what gives you hope as a Bears fan too, Shorty. I was saying, because, like, why couldn't they just find a way to win a game against whoever? If the Eagles only score 10 points against the Bears, I think the Bears will score at least 13. That Eagles defense is really fucking good, but I mean, this Bears offense is really fucking good too.
Dude, and they've proven that they're finding ways to win on offense. It doesn't matter. Like I would have never have expected this last game to come down to a kickoff return by Duvernay, who has not done anything like that.
Shit. Yeah.
Jack shit the whole season. Then boom, busts out a 55-yarder, puts us in practically field goal range to start. And then
it was it. And you didn't even need Caleb's magic. And I think Caleb would have had the magic. I was confident in Caleb. When they scored, I was like, they left Caleb too much time. And Caleb is becoming that quarterback, Shorty. Like,
50 seconds,
you used to say that about Aaron Rodgers. You used to say that about Tom. You can't leave Tom Brady 50 seconds with those timeouts.
Yep.
And Caleb, I was thinking we should be thinking the same thing. And Lefty, Purple Jesus, Kyle, what's up, dude? Yeah, I already sent that thank you card. It's funny he talked about that right as you brought up the Duvernay kickoff return, but very serendipitous. Thanks for joining us, brother. I'm sorry the Vikings lost. The Bears beat the Vikings on your birthday weekend. I told you it was going to happen, though.
Oh, man, that sucks, Lefty.
Yeah.
That sucks. Happy birthday, though.
Yeah, happy birthday. Yeah, man, it's just been somebody different every week, Shorty. That shows you how bought in this entire team is.
Well, this is what is kind of reminiscent about the 2018 season, is that you saw all the ball bounce our way, right? Like, we got the lucky bounce, we got the this and that, we won these games because of this and that, and then boom, we're 12-4, we make the playoffs. a double doink, which was really a blocked field goal, ends the game. And I'll never forget that Matt Nagy look.
Yeah. That was a gut punch, man. It's kicking the nuts for sure. I remember where I was watching it. And I also remember, Shorty, no matter what happens with the Bears make the playoffs and they lose in the wild card on some crazy shit. I won't feel the way I felt after that game.
100%.
Because I remember thinking, like, this was our chance. I felt that way in the moment. I did not 100%. Have confidence. I did not have confidence in Matt Nagy at that point still. And he won Coach of the Year. But we watched him all year, and he did a lot of shit that didn't make sense. Offensively, right. He did a lot of things that were questionable in terms of game management.
Santa Claus sleigh play or whatever the hell.
Yeah.
Like, we knew when that season ended, it was like, this was the season. Like, we had the players, we had the defensive coordinator, we were about to lose Vic Fangio.
Yep.
We knew in that moment, this was the moment. This was the team, because every team, every year is different. And then the next year, what happened?
8-8.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you are 100% correct. This feels similar in that regard, that we are in this moment right now, and it's happening. We're enjoying the process, and we're getting the bounces. We're on our 5th, 6th defensive back, leading the league in interceptions.
Nashawn Wright is 2nd in the league in interceptions.
Like, what the hell, man?
Yeah.
This is a time to be excited about. And I have lots of friends who have podcasts that are just constantly pessimistic. And it's just like, let it go, man. I understand that you didn't, like, I grew up in the 80s. I was 10 years old when the Bears won the Super Bowl in 1985, and I'm sick and tired talking about that team. But
I'm sick of hearing about it, Shorty.
So am I. I'm sick and tired of talking about it, hearing about it, all that shit. And I recognize, like fans like you who have not seen that, and fans younger than you that have not seen that, and all they know is the Devin Hester kickoff return. But
and some don't even know that, Shorty.
Don't even know that, right? So you get to right now. It's like nothing happens overnight, and enjoy the process, because it's literally happening before our eyes, and we have to enjoy the process and just sit back and reap the rewards of the fruits of our fruition, if you will.
Yeah, man. And all the stuff we've been talking about, you said the 3 years to get the offensive coordinator and the quarterback on the same page. And as I said, that goes both ways. That's Ben Johnson coming towards Caleb. That's Caleb going towards Ben. They're going to meet in the middle, and that's going to be great. This defense with all of these players missing that they're going to get back this year, hopefully. I still don't know about Jalen Johnson, to be honest, but I mean, it's sounding good.
Yeah.
It's sounding good, but like, and you got another draft, and they actually did pretty well in this last draft. Like, maybe they're turning the page there. So it's like, no matter what happens, they lose to the fucking the Rams in the wild card, or the Eagles in the wild card in the first round. I am gonna be like, the future is bright. That's going to be my what are we doing next year? And I'm gonna be like, thank you for giving me a playoff season when I expected 8 wins from this team. Like, honestly, that's going to be my perspective. Universe works in mysterious ways. Virginia passes away. Bears beat Green Bay in Green Bay. All 2025, Lady Luck has been on the Bears side. Maybe a Chicago Pope has something to do with it. Papa Bear smiling down on Ben J.
Melon Smasher is right about that. Like, have you ever noticed, like, for example, the Buccaneers, they changed their uniforms. They win a Super Bowl. So-and-so team.
That was the Gruden year, yeah.
Yeah, the Rams, they changed their uniforms. They win a Super Bowl. So-and-so team changes this, changes that up. It takes something special like that, RIP to Virginia McCaskey. But things like that, they do kind of work hand in hand with each other. You see it in real time, and we're kind of seeing it right now. Strangely enough, I hate to say that, but it took someone passing away to kind of propel this team to the next generation of of what this team is going to become.
And this team needed that, Shorty. It did.
100%.
It needed a change. You know, a lot of players who come and gone through Chicago have mocked them for how they do business and how they treat their players and how their facilities were. And they've been slowly changing all of this stuff with Kevin Warren and Ryan Poles. But the point that Melon Smasher's making, and kind of on our point, like, it's been a weird year in the NFL in general, as we were just saying, Shorty. It's been a weird, crazy season for the Bears. A lot of luck, and I think they're making their own luck, as I said earlier.
Yep.
But like, I just went through all those teams that had negative point differentials that made the playoffs. The Rams won a Super Bowl in 2021 with a negative 19-point differential going into those playoffs. In a weird fucking season where the Bears seem to have a horseshoe shoved up their ass, why not entertain the idea that like this team could get to a fucking Super Bowl? Like that's the fun of it, you know what I'm saying?
Dude,
and like,
don't
if
even say it. I'm right there, dude.
What's up, Phil?
What's going to happen if we make the Super Bowl and win it in year one of Ben Johnson?
If I was Ben Johnson, I would just retire.
We're like, I'm done, dude.
Yeah.
One and done. I'm out of here.
Yeah. This is not going to get any better
no.
than this.
We'll give you $100 million.
No, we still need you here. Well, you can be the GM.
But I wanted to ask you. I forgot what I wanted to ask you, but it was about. Never mind.
Okay.
Lost my train of thought. I had a great question for you though. It was about.
Damn it! I keep fucking
something.
up your great questions, Shorty, by talking.
No, it's your show, man. Thank you for having me on, dude. I appreciate it.
No, but I'm interested in these questions and I want to hear them.
My question was,
we were talking about the luck of the Bears this season and the McCaskey thing and the changing of the guard and how weird this NFL season's been.
Yeah, and it was. Do you think that? Do you think that it is? I'm just gonna improvise right now. Do you think it's possible?
Yeah,
we could win a Super Bowl this year.
Yeah, I think it's within the realm of possibility. As John S. is saying right here, there's no unbeatable team out there. No team has shown themselves to be that dominant team. So you can talk about how the Bears haven't beaten anyone of quality, and you can talk about all that shit. And as Vizzo Joe asked me earlier, you know, what if the Bears beat a team with a winning record this week? What are the pundits going to say? And my answer was, I don't give a shit. The Bears are playing their schedule and they're winning games. And there's no team that's shown themselves to be that dominant team. Any team can beat any team this year, as far as I'm concerned. I think that's what this season is showing.
100%. And I've always been of the belief of, like, you can't say that we have beaten so many ex-losing teams or so many ex-winning teams, because it doesn't come down to that until you beat them or lose to them.
Yeah,
right? So, like, you play – okay, so you play the Eagles, right, in a couple of weeks. They're what? They have 2 losses. The Bears are third right now in the NFC. They are sitting atop the third in the fucking NFC.
Behind the Eagles and the Rams, yeah.
With 3 losses compared to the Eagles and the Rams with 2. But, like, prior to that, you can't, as the season progresses and it's developing, you can't just sit here and go, oh, well, they lost to, this many. Those teams weren't losing teams until they became a losing team, and they weren't winning teams until they became a winning team. So you can't use that as a metric to gauge them on as far as wins and losses and who they've beaten or who they have lost to.
Yeah, and it's as dumb as comparing, last season's win losses to this season in terms of how tough a schedule is, because these teams are different. This is a new season.
It progresses as it goes along.
Yep, and the Bears' schedule looked mighty daunting coming into this year, and the Bears are 7-3. And Mellon's kind of saying what I was saying. I had the Bears ceiling of 8 wins. That's exactly what I picked them at. I now see the Bears traveling to LA in late January to face the Rams in the NFC title game. Wow, Mellon is coming. You think Caleb's going to get the Bears to the end? I love that. Ben Johnson has the sauce. He says, Ben Johnson single-handedly gave me hope this team can make the playoffs. Need to see the next 3 weeks, Steelers, Eagles, Green Bay. Scar tissue is being removed. Every post game, Ben erupts into good, better, best. That's must watch TV. You got to go find Ben Johnson's post game locker room speech as soon as possible after a Bears.
Wait, let's do it. Good, better, best.
Never let it rest.
Till the good gets better.
And your better gets best.
Oh yeah, let's go Bears.
Yeah, I got babies sleeping in the house. I can't scream. I gotta be. This has been a fun season. I think it will continue to be, and I agree with you, Melon. We got to see how they perform against these teams over these next few weeks. It's really important to get the W this Sunday against this Steelers team. I love what this show has turned into, Shorty. So thank you for jumping on here with me, man, because we always get into some like philosophical high level shit, and like I was just gonna talk about this Steelers Bears game and get the fuck out of here.
I love your show because you kind of do it like we do too. Like we go off the rails and like we start talking about life and family and friends and having a good time, and then it comes back to the Bears and all that stuff. And
let's go off the rails. Let's go off the rails a little bit.
Okay.
I said it on last Thursday, and I just got a quick little update. This past Monday, I got a vasectomy. I've had 4 kids.
Oh, my nuts hurt. Oh,
this is the part of the story I'm about to get into, man. Because going into it, I had not actually experienced it physically, but on Monday I went in there and I fucking did it. And hopefully it took. I'm gonna find out in a couple months when I send the kit and do all that thing. Got a little box with like a whale shaped like a sperm on it, like to send in with my kid. But this is a funny story about it. I was laying on the table, doctor. One hand on my nut, other hand has scissors in it. I'm huffing down nitrous as fucking much as I can. And I just hear the doctor go, oops. I was like, Doc, what the fuck did you just say? Did you just say oops? He's like, oh yeah, I'm sorry. I was like, it's probably the last thing you want to hear the doctor who's performing your vasectomy say. I was like, yeah, everything okay down there? And he's like, yeah, I just sprayed the nurse's assistant with some cleaning chemicals.
Oh, God.
But I was like, oh, my God. And I'm still playing hurt, man. I got to say, like, I walk around in this perpetual, that feeling when you get kicked in the nuts. When it happens, it's awful. But, like, the hour later is even somehow worse and weirder because it's like that dull ache that just stays there. I am in a
balls. Yeah, it's like, yeah.
I'm in a perpetual phase of feeling like I got kicked in the balls an hour ago. That's kind of where I'm at right now.
My buddy told me about his vasectomy, and he said the same story. He was like, he heard the doctor go, "Oops," and he could feel his nut hit the fucking cold steel table, and he was like, "I can feel that." He's like, "No, you can't. I've given you too much Novocaine. You can't." He's like, "No, I can feel that." He's like, "No, I can feel my nut on the fucking the cold steel table." He's like, "No, that's impossible." He's like, no, I promise you I can feel that. And he was like, it was the worst.
No, I had to have him hit me with some more Novocaine at one point, bro. I was like, yeah, that's too much. You're gonna have to go back. And like I said, I had the nitrous just in my hand the entire time.
I'm lucky enough that my wife can't have kids, so I have never had to experience that, thank God.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've had
my
2
nuts
boys.
Hurt right now. Think about
I've had 2 boys, 2 girls. I have a 5th stepdaughter. I am at peace with my decision. The physical part of it, I'm still trying to come to terms with because, it is like the way you're feeling right now. That's how I feel all the time. I physically feel it, but like it was the right decision for me and my family, So like I'm good with that. Like I'm good with not having no more kids, and I don't feel any less like manly or anything. I got True Pilgrim saying why, and I got Lefty saying bro took no nut November way too seriously. I'm gonna nut in November. I promise you. It's not. I already have. Roz laughing.
That's hilarious.
Oh, this is my brother. He's finding out I got a vasectomy. He found this out through. He found this out through the bare minimum that I was gonna get a vasectomy. If he kept watching last week, I don't know. And yeah, Nick, it happened. I have no more kids. That's my brother Nick. Be interesting to see what improvements Ben Johnson can implement in the mini bye after the Eagles game. Could determine it.
You're talking to a guy that has no kids, so you're lucky to at least have the a vasectomy done.
Yeah, man, and it's great. Kids are great, man. I recommend everyone do it, but I understand everybody's different, and life has
But
what
no,
it
no
has
more
for
than
you.
5, right?
Yes, that's the limit. That's got to be the limit. So I'm good. I'm at peace with where I'm at. And then Nick's asking, how often do I get kicked in the nuts? Have you never been kicked in the nuts? Everyone's been kicked in the nuts.
Would you feel it now, though?
Would I? Yes. My nuts are still there, shorty.
But if you got kicked in, would it feel the same?
I wish it didn't. I'm not gonna test out this theory,
God,
especially not right now. So I just wanted to share that. You brought up off the rails, so I was gonna throw
Hey, man,
that.
we go all off the rails in my show, so I appreciate
So
it.
now I'm wondering, from the story you told about your friend, like, is this like a joke that every urologist plays on anybody they give a vasectomy? Do they just say "oops"?
No,
like,
he was
just
like,
to fuck with you.
Oops. And he was like, he could feel his nut on the cold steel table. He's like, I can feel that. He's like, no, you can't. You're so jacked up on Novocaine. He's like, no, I need more. So he gave him more. He's like, no, I can feel that. I can feel my nut on the hard steel table right now. And it was just I don't want to talk about it anymore. My nuts
No, yeah, I feel you. It is what it is. Moving on. Bears are going to win this Sunday. Shorty, I'm sure you did predictions earlier. And I mean, I didn't get into all the details of what I wanted to get into on this game, but that is fine. That's okay.
I got 33-17.
33-17 Bears?
Yep, at home.
Wow. So you're seeing a big Caleb game, or are you seeing the Bears establish the run, or a little bit of both?
A little bit of both. Yep.
Okay. Chicago. I mean, Pittsburgh's pretty good against the run, shorty. They're decent. They're middle of the pack. 4.2 yards per rush, 106 yards per game. A little under a touchdown a game they're allowing.
Yeah, I think we're going to give up more rushing yards than we would like, but I think the passing game is going to be stifled by us.
That wasn't for you, shorty. That's from my brother. So.
I know.
Okay. You think so?
I think we're gonna stifle that passing game.
I think it's serendipitous in the way that this will be the last time Aaron Rodgers plays in Soldier Field. He has a broken wrist and he's going to bust his ass to play. And the Bears are going to beat the shit out of him.
I hope we end his career just like we did Favre.
I don't wish that on anybody. We'll see what happens, but I want the Bears to hit him every chance they get. He is a statue in that pocket at this point. And the Bears, if their pass rush is ever going to show up, it needs to be in this game. He don't own us. He is nobody's fucking daddy. You need to snip off his nuts this Sunday. Get him on the ground.
If he is running out of bounds, take the personal foul and hit his fucking ass. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Establish your mentality onto this game, and that really needs to be all about putting constant pressure on Aaron Rodgers and making him feel it. I mean, if he's already coming into this game injured, knock him out, like you said, man. I think, again, I've thought it was serendipitous all year. Like I've had this circled all off season, because once Aaron Rodgers signed with the Steelers, I was like, yes. This will be the way that the Bears send him out.
Correct.
Yes, and I've been looking forward to it all year. I'm not changing my prediction. I don't know if the Bears are going to score 33, because I do think this defense can get after the quarterback. My big concern with that is Theo Benedette, obviously. I wanted to get into how good this Bears offensive line is and has been all season. This is the X factor for this team. It is the biggest improvement of any team from last season going into this season, and it has shown. The Bears are top 5 in damn near every category. Any ranking you're going to see of offensive lines, they have been kicking ass. The interior of that offensive line was flipped so hard, so much so, shorty, that the fact that an undrafted guy out of Canada starting at left tackle is not tanking your season. That's how good the interior of this offensive line has been, and how good Darnell Wright has been. And I think they can find a way to protect Caleb, on top of Caleb working his magic in that pocket and outside of it. And the Bears find a way to score more than the Steelers. That's really what it comes down to for me, man. I see the Bears winning this thing 27-21, somewhere in there. I do think Caleb has a couple of touchdowns. And Caleb, again, does not turn the ball over, shorty. He does not turn the ball over. If he turns the ball over, it becomes a different game. Caleb is really good at protecting the ball, and I think he continues that streak this Sunday.
Caleb right now is overall is 33 touchdowns, 10 interceptions on his career. That's pretty damn
fucking impressive. Yeah. For a rookie in the situation he was in last year, if you consider that, Shorty.
I don't see that being a problem in this game as far as turnovers. I just see like what you were talking about. Just hitting those plays when they matter. And if we can just stop Aaron Rodgers, like the problem that we've had is the last couple of quarterbacks, doesn't matter. When it comes down to crunch time, they're kicking our ass, right?
Mm-hmm.
If it comes down to we can stop that and then continue to build upon our offense, I think I know we're going to win this game.
I feel very confident.
Maybe not 33-17, but it seems more like 25-24 the way the season's been going, right?
They're going to drive you nuts all game, Shorty. I keep saying this. Like, Bears fans, just accept it. Accept your quarterback for who he is. Accept his team for what it is. They're going to piss you off. You're going to, at some point, write them off. Don't do that. Stop yourself from doing that, because they are always in it as long as it stays close. And this will be another one of those knockdown, drag-out games. It's going to go back and forth. There's going to be a point where you're like, the Bears got this, and then you're like, oh, shit, the Bears just gave this up. And then the Bears still got – like, that's this team, man. That's they've shown you who they are, and that's okay if they find the way to win. And I think it comes down to Caleb, man. I do.
As long as it's not Mason Rudolph doing that shit to us.
Yeah, he's had success as a starting quarterback when he's played for the Steelers.
I don't hate Mason Rudolph.
No, I like him.
Play. I appreciate his game. So who knows? He's been there for a while too, so he knows the Steelers offense.
Yeah. And Corey chimes in and says, "Go Steelers!" Got a Steelers fan joining the chat. What's up, brother? How you doing? Hopefully the Bears kick the shit out of y'all this Sunday, but I'm glad you joined us. On here, man. Like, subscribe if you have not already. We are here all week for you. That's Shorty. He's got Bears Country Productions. You know, you got your podcast that you guys fucking kill it on. Bears Country, you guys got to check them out. They're on Thursdays, every Thursday, right before we go on. Shorty, I've been on a run of just getting my ass kicked at work on Thursdays and not being able to check you all out live. I love being in your chat. You guys have so much fucking fun, dude. You guys are definitely somebody that I look to for like the format and how you guys go about it, because it's like you said earlier, it's very similar to how we go about it. And so I kind of just gravitate towards that. I mean, don't take yourself too seriously. I mean, I'm not in the locker room. I don't got no inside information. I got my gut. I got my eyes, my experience watching football. And I like to have fun. I like to make some jokes along the way, man.
I really appreciate that, because I feel the same way about you guys. And like, once we got to know each other and found out that you like live in my hometown.
Yep.
Like, I'm ashamed that the last time that I was home, I didn't like meet up with you, because I love to go to Sammy's and get an Italian beef if I can go there, because that's my first job. You know, Sammy's.
Yeah. Sammy's is a shit, man. Next time, there's always next time. But I mean, life happens. You know, you got, when you're coming into town, you got so many things to do. I'm sure it's so many people to
meet up with and stuff. Yeah, but like, you guys are like after doing a podcast for going on 4 years now, like, there's very few that I watch anymore, and very few that I appreciate, and you guys are definitely one of them. And I love you guys, and I support you guys, and I want to thank you for having me on tonight with you. Just like last second, you know, we finished.
You said the word, man. You said the word. We'll get it done. I was waiting for you. I was like, I went on tonight, Shorty, hoping that you were going to jump in the chat and say exactly what you said. That's not
I appreciate that, man. I would love to join you anytime that I possibly can, man. It's been an honor to hang out with you tonight, because like, your guys's views and opinions, they adhere to ours at Bears Country Podcast, Bears Country Productions. And I just, especially being just, you know, from the same hometown, man, it's really special. It's very unique that you get to meet someone that you're like, wait, you're from my home fucking town? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's a small world, man. Yeah.
tell you these streets and you know what I'm talking about? Like
Yeah,
Fairfield,
man.
fucking Rollins Road. You know what I'm talking about?
Uh-huh. Yeah, man. I used to always go to the Fairfield disc golf course too. That was a big thing for me. I don't have time to go disc golfing anymore, but that was my favorite
Over there
course
off
to
of,
go.
off of Fairfield. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep. I know it. I know it well.
Fairfield and Hart Road.
Yep.
No,
Hart-
yeah, I mean,
Hill,
but you were just saying earlier how you had like dude from the UK on your show. Like you make so many connections doing this, right? But like, how weird is it that like that close? It hits that close to home.
it's really amazing, man. It makes it's a special connection that I think that you and I have.
Yeah.
Like Harts Hill, man. Like we used to jog from Round Lake High School in our cleats in full pads over to Harts Hill, and then we would take turns running up and down Harts Hill. And we would like go there in the winter to sled down Harts Hill and all that stuff. So like it's just crazy that I can talk to somebody about that and like you and you know what I'm talking about. It's so cool, man.
Yeah,
I
man.
really appreciate you, man.
Well, I appreciate you, Shorty. You saved my ass tonight. I gotta be honest. I'm
happy to, man.
I didn't have much. Go ahead.
And anytime that I'm available, like after my show, if I have some time, it's I have to go right now because it's 2:11 o'clock.
Yeah, 2:11 o'clock. It's 1:11 for me, and I told my wife I'm gonna be by myself. It's gonna be a 30-40 minute show.
I'll be done in 30. She's like, "What the hell took me so long?"
She don't believe me. She knows.
Shorty hopped in with me.
She knows. She looks at me. She's like, "Yeah, sure. It's gonna be fucking 30 minutes."
Same thing with my wife. I'm like, "I'll be in bed by 1 o'clock." She's like, "No, you won't be." But no, I mean, I just want to thank you for having me on tonight, just to come in impromptu and hang out with you, man. It's been a pleasure. I really appreciate it, man. Love you guys.
Pleasure is all mine, Shorty. You're the fucking man.
You too, man.
Thank you so much, guys. Check out Bears Country Podcast, Bear Country Productions. Shorty is the shit. Shorty, have a good night, man. Get some sleep. I appreciate it.
You too, my man. Hey, bear down.
Bear down. Well, gentlemen, it's about that time. I think I did my prediction already. Melon Smasher, you pointed this out, and I think it's going to be a big key to the game. Ben Johnson, certified run game guru. The amount of work that these weapons, the offensive skill players are putting in run blocking, it's going to come up huge this Sunday. I think the tight ends and pass protection are going to come up huge this Sunday, and they're going to be necessary. But the hard runs, the Kyle Monungai runs, the DeAndre Swift has been powering himself through runs too, man. Like DeAndre Swift showing us power recently. So I think like those hard-fought, hard-earned yards, they're going to be super important in this game on Sunday. That run game is going to be really important because it's going to lead to the play action, which is, I said this last week, didn't come to fruition. I'm saying it again, play action, hit them over the top is going to be important, guys. I got the Bears 27-21. I think it's a close game. I think it's down to the wire. I'm excited to see what the Bears do because I think this is a hugely important game. You get to 8 wins. I think you're kind of locking yourself into a playoff hunt. You're locking yourself into a playoff spot. You're going to find 2 more wins by the end of this season, I think. You got home games coming up, divisional opponents. You got the Browns coming into Chicago. Like, there's some more wins to be had here. It's going to get tough. We went through the point differential. Teams make the playoffs all the time with these negative point differentials. The trend is they lose in the wild card. Some get to the divisional. The one outlier was the Rams. Are the Bears that team this year? Are the Bears that team? I don't know. We talked about how weird this season has been, guys. Who the fuck knows? I'll start entertaining it as we get down the line a little bit. I think the Bears are doing it right. They're not looking ahead. They are just focusing on what's in front of them and that task at hand. And right now, that's the Steelers. And that's Aaron Rodgers. I think he's going to play, guys. If he doesn't, I don't think it makes much of a difference, to be honest. I think that Steelers team is a tough team, no matter what. Well-coached team. I think the advantage in the coaching aspect goes to Mike Tomlin, and you're going to have some moments this Sunday where you're like, fuck, Mike Tomlin is coaching circles around Ben Johnson. Have patience. Hang in there. Ben Johnson figures things out. He learns in the moment and adjusts. And he learned from last week, and he's adjusted. You're going to see it on Sunday. You're going to see that aggression. Yes, Melon. Bears need to go 1-0 on Sunday versus Steelers, move to 8-3. 2-1 in the remaining 3 games versus Green Bay, Detroit, 10-4 record, then go 1-2. Yeah, okay. Gets you 11-5. I mean, I'm starting to entertain that 11 wins. I mean, again, they're well ahead of where I expected them to be. The variance has shifted, and it's looking like 10, 11 wins is very attainable for a team that, I didn't have the highest of hopes for. I knew it was going to be fun, and I knew it was going to be good no matter what, because we're building towards something in the future. But if you can get this experience now with this young group of guys, with this young head coach, you're balling out, man. It's nothing. It's icing on the cake to me. That's all it is. So you got to get the win this Sunday. Go Bears. We're going to do a Sunday pregame show. I don't know if I'm going to be on or not, but if I am, I'm going to bring my daughter because she's been a good luck charm the last 2 weeks, and I want to keep that going, So we'll see how that goes. But this has been the bare minimum, guys. Bears 27, Steelers 21. Brandon did not send me his picks. I should have asked him for it. Shorty joined me out of impromptu. That was not planned. That was in the moment production. That was a lot of fun. I'm glad y'all stuck with us and hung in. Melon, I'm glad to see you're coming around. I mean, previous chats, you'd be very down on Caleb, but the Ben Johnson effect is real for you, and I get that, and I appreciate it. And I as I said earlier, I think Ben Johnson's got to come to Caleb a little bit too, man. Ben, it's not just Caleb fitting in the Ben Johnson system. It's Ben Johnson making a system that fits Caleb Williams. And we're in the infancy stage of that project. And look at the results it's getting. It's not going to get worse. It will get better. And Melon, I appreciate you. I appreciate your comments, man. John, I appreciate you being here. Corey, man, Steelers fan. Listen, I wish you all the best in life, but I hope your team gets their asses kicked this Sunday. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. Lefty, Purple Jesus, Kyle, one and the same. Rather God. Y'all have been awesome. We appreciate you. Nick, my brother, I'm going to see you on Thanksgiving. We're going to be there late Wednesday night. I work all fucking day Wednesday, but I'm going to shoot out to you. So just be ready for me. Have a drink ready for me, brother. I'll talk to you in the private. We'll figure it out. True Pilgrim. The only time you chimed in was on my vasectomy story, True Pilgrim. I need more from you next time. You're coming up a little short for me. I appreciate all of y'all. Y'all have been the shit. Ross says bear down. That's a good way to end it. Bear down. Have a great night. We'll see y'all Sunday.